I'm Gene Grant here in the studios of New Mexico PBS with our Line Opinion panelists. We're getting ready to talk about some of the top stories in the news this week, but before we start, we'd like to warm up with what we call an off-the-cuff question for our panelists. Here's an interesting thing. Several high schools in the Las Cruces area have installed napping pods. They're basically egg-shaped reclining lounge chairs with a light-blocking lid. Just comes right down over you. It's the most amazing thing. All right, it allows stressed and overtired teenagers to catch 40 winks or 20, I guess if that's a nap, with a teacher or a nurse's note instead of nodding off Janice in the classroom. And I have to just confess something. 58 this year. Naps have become part of my life in the afternoon. I never was a napper. Suddenly I'm like at 4:30, I'm like, oh, I need a nap. What do you think about this idea? There's a lot of science that even a quick 5-minute sort of nap has enormous refreshing qualities, can really get you back on track. Is this appropriate for teenagers?
Very appropriate. So Let me just rail. I think we make our teenagers go to school way too early because their clocks are just different. And rather than struggling through, I mean, how many times did you put your head down on the desk and you had drool coming out? And it would just be better. Just go to the nurse's office and take a 20-minute nap, and then you would be better. I know it will be disruptive, but I think it's a good idea. Naps, I've skipped them, but I love them now.
Interesting. You know, Tom, we don't know, here's the other part about it. We don't know what's happening in a teen's life, like literally how much sleep they're getting before they come to school. We can't assume that kids are getting a solid 8 or 10 every night. You know what I mean? Family situations sometimes don't allow that kind of thing.
Well, family situations, this darn thing too.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, how many times do you hear about folks just tweeting in the middle of the night, and that light really kind of keeps you awake. So sleep patterns are really kind of a big issue and such. I'm all in favor of making it. Kids, great, but bring it for the adults.
The teachers.
Set up all around Albuquerque, just these little nap pods, just for us to go in and catch 5 minutes.
It's funny because, Dee Dee, I was thinking about, what came to me last night, kind of thinking about this was, you got to have multiple pods in a school. You can't just have one, you know what I mean? Because you have a line down the hall. It's like, oh, I need a nap. I'm like, so... Does this open up a whole other problem area for nurses and such, having these pods in a...
Maybe, but I'm thinking of Kermit the Frog and how he was living in his locker at the airport in The Muppets Take Manhattan. Maybe we could retrofit the lockers somehow.
That's awesome. It's a good visual cue for all of us too. Well, are you a napper? You're a busy gal, but do you tend to lay your head down at certain times in the office? And
not unless I've had a really late night. No, generally I'm go all day.
Yeah.
But I could see the advantage of having that at certain workplaces. I think this is something that came from Silicon Valley.
Right.
And it was supposed to improve productivity, and I'm for it for adults. I'm a little more not necessarily not in favor, but I'm just not as sure about it in the school district, only because for me it's like we need to encourage students to be productive and to be responsible, and I'm not sure that just sort of taking a break in the middle of the day to go nap is necessarily the solution when there's a whole lot of other problems that I think we need to fix in our education system.
That's reasonable. Because if you think about it, look, we're all human beings. We have these oddball responses to things. What if a kid's just stressed, bullied, something, just wants to duck out for a little while? Do you know what I mean? I could see that being part of,
needing to do that and being able to do that already without necessarily an egg-shaped pod to hide in. I'm concerned about the extra cost, but I do think that it's important. I'm a big supporter of individual school districts having the ability to make those decisions and not having it sort of come down as a statewide requirement.
What was that film in the 80s with William Hurt when he went into the crazy thing and all that psychedelic stuff started happening? It was a pod. He actually you lay in the water, you're sort of suspended in it, it's completely dark. It was a big hit back in the 80s. Now no one remembers. It wasn't that big a hit. Anyway, this is what this thing reminds me of. Viewers, take over. Send the emails. Tighten these guys up on what that movie was. We'll see you Friday night at 7.